Well, in the U.S., an investigation is underway after some college students removed American flags set up to mark the 9/11 incidents. Students at Middlebury College in the state of Vermont are outraged after protesters took down a September 11 memorial site on campus. The memorial was comprised of nearly 3,000 flags, one for each life lost in the September 11, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City. According to the news site of the college, the memorial has been placed in the same field for almost 10 years now. 4 women and 1 man were seen uprooting the flags and putting them in garbage bags. Middlebury College President Ron Leibowitz has denounced the protest and announced an investigation into the incident. Well, we're now going to speak to Susan Lindauer. She's a former CIA asset joining us on the line from Washington. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV. Now, it seems over the years, people have been looking at sporadic ways to protest the official story of the 9/11 incidents, and this is something you're very familiar with.
Yes, I was the target. I was one of the targets of the cover-up of 9/11 because I, in fact, learned of the 9/11 attack in April of 2001. Several months before it happened, I learned about it from the CIA. And I was told, I was covering Iraq and Libya at the United Nations, and I was told to pass a threat on to my diplomatic contacts at the Iraqi mission, telling them that if they discovered any conspiracy regarding airplane hijackings and a strike on the World Trade Center identified specifically, then if they did not give that information to us through my back channel, then we would hold them responsible and we would bomb them back to the Stone Age harder than they'd ever been bombed before. Well, as it happens, I was deeply, passionately anti-sanctions, and I was trying to do something very positive to help change the situation for the Iraqi people. I'd been doing that all along, that I was a covert back channel with the full knowledge of the Iraqi embassy and the Iraqi government all the way to the top. They knew who I was and what I was doing. I believe deeply that diplomacy and dialogue are the best ways to resolve conflict. So at least I tried, and I deeply, for all the Iraqi people, I regret with my last breath that I failed, but I tried.
Right.
And so
I'm sorry to interrupt you there. We're running out of time. So basically what you're saying is that 9/11 was a pretext to stage war on Iraq, but you have more evidence regarding that, haven't you?
It was a false flag operation. It was known for months in advance. It was what we call a deception operation. It's a psyop. All eyes were on the airplanes flying into the World Trade Center, but the real action was on the controlled demolition. So that means that someone at the intelligence level was coordinating, training the pilots, making this happen, and at the same time removing all of the safeguards that would have protected the World Trade Center, protected U.S. airspace from, that would have kicked into effect immediately, like NORAD, airplane pilots, jets scrambling to shoot down the planes. There's very simple things that would have been done, and all of this was blocked. And then, in addition to that, the third part of it was putting the bombs and the explosives into the building, and these were military-grade weapons. All through the summer of 2001, I was told over and over again that we must expect that there would be both airplane hijackings and the explosives, and that if I was in New York when the attack occurred, I must not go to the World Trade Center because we expected the explosive component to be part of this whole picture. So they did not, they warned me not to go running to the World Trade Center because after the airplanes hit it, it would come down in explosives. And we actually talked about where they would get the explosives. And they said, oh my gosh, you can go to any military base up and down the eastern seaboard and drive into the base with a badge with a military badge and drive and load up at any armory and take the explosives out of the building. The reason that none of this is known to the public, or it's known in the United States to the 9/11 truth community, they know this information. But the reason it's not known to you and to the wider public is that when George Bush decided to desperately decided to squash the truth, I was arrested on the Patriot Act. I was the second non-Arab American ever indicted on the Patriot Act. I was locked up on Carswell Air Force Base, which is where Afia Siddiqui from Pakistan is locked up. It is where all the political women prisoners are held.
Okay,
and it's on
I'm
a military
going to have to
base.
stop you there. I'm afraid we've run out of time. Susan Lindauer joining us from Washington. She's a former CIA asset. Thank you, ma'am, for your comments here on Press TV. Well.